Hey guys, it's Beth. Welcome back to the Great Mental Health Experiment, and today I'm going to share my story. So today I have been very kindly invited to go talk at Let's Talk About It. Talking about mental health, I'm just going to open up and talk a bit about me and my journey. Today I've just woken up I don't know, it's just one of those days and I'm actually just feeling a little bit low. So I'm actually just really feeling maybe like a 3.5 at the moment. I've been to Let's Talk About It before. Last time there were so many people there. For me speaking personally, I don't know what to expect. I'm nervous and excited and my tummy's just going like... But I think it's really, really, really good to be sharing my story with everyone today because it's so important for us to share our stories and find where we're at, and for hopefully our journey will help others. Also, it's really great for finding peace and finding hope, and also practicing courage, which I think is really important. So I'm going to be definitely doing some big practicing of my courage tonight.
It's great to have you here. First and foremost, my name is Tony O'Rourke. Beth is a youth work intern at Live for Tomorrow, which is a youth mental health project run out of Zeal. She started an online video series called the Great Mental Health Experiment, where she talks about different ways of improving your mental health, and has been interviewed by huge online websites including Upworthy and SBS Australia. Can we give it up tonight for Beth Humphrey?
Thank you, sir. Oh, Tony, what a guy. Oh. So yeah, who am I? I am Beth. I am your Beth friend. I am that girl. Yeah. Puns, good one. Or, that girl that you may not have seen on the internet at some point. So, like any story, I should probably start at the beginning. On the 25th of April, 1997, a small baby called Aisha Pania Wirihana Smith was born. Yeah, that was me. 11 days later, little baby Aisha was adopted into a family, and then she became Beth Aisha Humphrey. And much love to my birth parents for doing that, because how hard would it have to be to give up your baby in the hopes that your baby has a better life? So big ups to them and what they did. Thank you. I had the best childhood though. I spent a lot of time in the sun, and had some pretty cool friends throughout life. And life wasn't exactly perfect, but it was to me. In a lot of my younger years, however, maybe around 8, I started kind of questioning my adoption. I always knew I was adopted, but it wasn't until I kind of started at a new school in central Auckland, which is where things started to really get complicated. From day one, I got there and I was judged. I was judged because you wouldn't believe it looking at me now, but I was actually taller than quite a lot of the other kids. Also a little bit larger too. I was a late starter. I was the strange girl. I was the token brown girl as well. And all of these things I got judged on a daily basis. Yeah, rough. Not only was my personality so different from everyone else, but, kids that age really like to point that out. Yeah. And a big thing that they liked to point out was, you look a lot different from your mum and your dad. Yeah. I used to get like, your mum's white. Oh, so your dad must be brown then. No, your dad's white too? But how does that work? Yeah. I was outcast for being unique. It came to a point where I would sit in the toilets alone, I'd miss class, and I would spend a lot of lunchtimes alone as well. I would wake up with these really bad stomach pains, and I used to call it gooey tummy, where you just kind of feel like you want to throw up, but you don't actually go throw up, but you just feel really weird. And I'd go to the doctor a lot, and the doctor would just be like, "Oh, she's fine, she's just faking it, go send her back to school, she's just suck it up, kid." But then later on in life, last year in fact, I went to a mental health workshop where I had a lady talking about her experience, and that is when I realised that those moments, those stomach aches that I felt were actually what I believe to be is a form of childhood depression. And when you're a child, it is very hard to tell people that you're not well, because you don't really know that you're not well, because you're a child, you don't know. And depression takes on a very physical form kind of at that age, like the things with the gooey tummy. That was probably my anxiety building up from going to school each day. It's like, ooh. And I used to get these like every day. So that was really real for me. And then in 2008, I moved to Canterbury. And that's kind of where I really fell down the rabbit hole. I was determined to do everything that I could to fit in. So, yeah, I conformed to society's rulings of how and what a female apparently is supposed to be like. I became the pretty new girl from out of town. And boys only really wanted to hang around with me for kind of one thing, or two things. Yeah. My experience living down south wasn't at all bad. I lived down there for about 3 years. I got into performing arts, and it was a really fun time. I found a real cool passion in performing arts. I also really got into lighting and sound and learning a bit about that. So that was really cool. And then in 2011, I moved back to Auckland, and oh man, great to be back. And started at St. Dom's, and I was the new girl all over again. And I guess I brought a little bit of what I was like down there, brought that back up just because, you know, again, really wanted to fit in. New school again. And year 10's like a really weird time in life, as I know a lot of you can remember. Yeah. But then I got saved. And no, this is not the story about how I found God, so don't worry. I got saved by Zeal. And Zeal is this youth organisation which is all about empowering young people through the creative arts. But we say that, but really, you know, everyone's welcome. And yeah, I walked in with an interest of starting lighting and sound and doing some gigs around there. And as soon as I walked in, I just had this like, oh, this is nice. I like this place. These people are cool, loving the vibe. And hey, they actually liked me for me. Like the crazy me. Probably because the rest of the young people there was just as crazy as I were. Yeah. And yeah, that was awesome. And the coolest part is there were some really amazing youth workers and adults who worked there who saw this underlying potential in me and were just waiting for it to be unleashed and really pushed me towards those things. So I became a volunteer there. I ended up doing lighting and sound for a very short amount of time and then went into general volunteering, and that was about 2 years. And when I graduated in 2014, I kind of said, hey, what am I doing with my life? And then I was offered a youth work internship at Zeal. Actually, technically, under Live for Tomorrow. So I'm now 19. I am about to graduate with a diploma in youth and community studies. I work for an awesome organisation, Live for Tomorrow, branding, which is the youth mental health project of Zeal, and it is amazing. And yeah, kind of like what Tony said, I run an awesome video series which where I test different ways of improving mental health, and yeah, putting all those things that we read on those lists into theory and being like, hey, this is me doing this and it worked for me, so maybe it will work for you. And it's had a really amazing response, again, like Tony said, and it's honestly the coolest thing ever. But not only is that awesome for me, well, it is really awesome for me because I was able to learn rather than self-destruct. There are things out there that work for me, and just trying to find what those things are. And it also, I keep doing this because it teaches everyone else, you know, how they can be aware of their well-being and figure out what this mental health thing is, and yes, I do have it, and how do I be really well with that. So that's my journey, and it's very weird, it's very wonderful. It has these ups, these downs, these twists, these very sharp turns, but it's beautiful, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But that's me. So my question to you guys is, so, what's your story? Thank you.
Hey, why don't we give Beth one more round of applause?
I just got home, just really wanted to kind of talk about how it went. It went cool. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I think I went really well. So yeah, I'm really happy with myself and feeling a lot better too. I think I was just really anxious about getting up there and talking about my story, but at the same time now I'm just really glad I did. And things were a bit heavy and we got a bit funny, and I think that's okay. I am feeling about a 6 or a 7 now, and I was a 3 before, so I think that's really huge. Sharing my story was amazing, and I just felt really privileged having that space to do so. So I would give this whole experience of sharing your story, I would give it a 5 out of 5, because I think it's so important to share your story, just not only for you but for others, so that we can all learn and all grow together. So yeah, so my challenge to you guys is to talk to someone, whether that's someone in your family or in your friends that you trust, a trusted adult. Just share a bit of yourself with them. Open your soul up a bit and share your story, because your story is awesome and you are the main character in the story that is your life. And I would love to hear your stories too, so if you have any stories for me, please share. And you guys are the best, and I just want to say a big thank you to you all for this, the support. Really means a lot. Before I do go though, I just wanted to let you guys know that that this videoing for you guys is great, and I love it so much, and I love how together we are starting more and more conversations around mental health. But within saying that, I am very busy with my studies, with my part-time job, with everything, and there comes a time where you're like, wow, this is really hectic, and putting a video out every week is really hard. So I have made a decision that I'm now going to be posting up videos every fortnight rather than every week, and that's tough because I such a long time without seeing you. But I really want to keep this going, and stepping back and doing this once a fortnight is how I'm going to be able to do that. So I'm sorry, but also I'm not, because things are going to be great, guys. The journey is not over, the journey is just beginning. So thank you for all your support so far. I will see you soon, next fortnight. All the best, guys. Bye!